if you want to leave a legacy in life, either do something worth writing or write something worth doing. Are you with me?
Lovely. Lovely.
And I think this gentleman, he's done, I don't know if most people are able to do even one, but he's done both.
Yes, he's done both.
He has done both. And I'll show you why I say he's done both. He's just been such a modest person. He's been talking about wonderful things. And he's talked about inspiration, but most people here don't know his own life, the way he's gone through up and down and up and down and up and down. His own life has been a tremendous inspiration. I know him well enough. He thought he was 14, didn't realize he was actually 4. Because when I got married, the guy was in my lap. I find it hard to call him my cousin. He's my nephew, I call him. So it's very difficult when somebody says, "Who's there?" I said, "My nephew." I don't understand, how can a brother be like that? But anyway, but amazing, the roller coaster ride he's gone through. He came here, back to India, tried to get settled. He couldn't live in the corrupt system. So he packed up his bag again, started from ground zero again. Came here, ground zero, left ground zero, came back. That by itself, in my opinion, folks, it's a great inspiration. And yesterday, he shared with me what the book is all about. And I said, this book really should not belong in the fiction section. It really belongs in self-help. Really, it is a self-help book. And this is what can change a person's life. So, in my opinion, it's really a transformational book. It is not just a story of a kid who went through life and whatever he explained to me yesterday, how he went through the 7 continents and 6 continents and came back and eventually got knighthood in UK and eventually got married to the lady somewhere he met for one night somewhere. But most important thing is, it was a tremendous comeback. I personally feel the reason I'm here today, I get a lot of calls. The reason I'm here today for the book launch, not because he happens to be a relative of mine, but not only he's a great professional as a medical doctor, but most important thing is, I feel he's a very ethical, clean, honest person with great integrity, folks. And that is what brings me here. Otherwise, I really wouldn't want to be here otherwise. And to me, more than anything else, in fact, I wrote a little note, just having professional qualifications does not make a professional.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely.
So it takes a lot more, it's a lot more to be a good professional. And that is what has always attracted me to him right from day one, since he was born, I was born, I guess. So I guess there are some connections you don't connect. You are connected before you come here. And this is what I feel that my connection has been with him all through always. And What a delight, I must acknowledge these two people who are so modest also and humble. And I met them 6-7 years ago, so when Rakesh was asking, who do I publish? I said, let me give you a name. And right then and there, they connected, and I'm so glad that they did. My only request to you is, sir, the strength of the book is so good. I personally feel this book does not belong to India only. It should become a global book. So really, it is such a powerful book. It should go global, and we need to find a way how to get it global. And I think that's would be something very crucial for me. So I'm grateful to you people, and ma'am, Dr. Amrita Singh, look, my English is not the greatest, and my wife is from the convent, so even while coming here she said a word. I said, what does that mean? She said, go look for a dictionary. I said, why do you use such words? The other day she said, on his behest. I said, what is the meaning of behest? So look, my English is a little on the lower side, but anyway, but Rakesh, I really feel that the teachers that you invited here, I think that has been the greatest treat that you have done. So really, what he has achieved today, the credit goes to all of you right there. And when I launched my third book many years ago, I did invite Mr. Ved Vyas, who was the principal, who was teaching Hindi at that time. Mr. M.N. Kapoor used to be the principal. So while I was studying in modern school, I was the backbencher troubling the front benchers. So, and by the way, in my 8th grade, out of 6 or 7 subjects, I failed in all except one. So my principal called me and said, Shiv, you're paying too much attention on one subject. And folks, out of 28 kids, I was number 27 because the 28th was absent. No kidding. And my principal used to call my parents and tell them, get this kid out of the school. He's one kid who's going to bring the average of the school. I was bringing the average down. But you see, being the troublemaker that I was, well, I used to get caught. And I used to get into trouble. So I did something really nasty at that time. And Mr. Ved Vyas, who used to teach us Hindi, gave me one tight slap. So when I got a slap, and he used to hit hard. So when I was launching the book, I said, sir, I don't know if you remember, but I do remember that you gave me one tight slap. And he had said, Shiv has done so well, he's come here so high, he's achieved this height. I said, one slap could do that, why didn't you give me 2? I would have gone much faster. Well, anyway, bottom line really comes down is, it's a great occasion. It is a great occasion, and all I can say is, folks, I just like to share one more thing, that I've learned one thing, that reading a good book once is not good enough, folks. Would you agree with me?
Yes.
Okay. I repeat that. Reading a good book once is not good enough. And I've had many times people say to me, oh, 2, 3 people are there, and they say, well, Mr. Khera, just give me one book and we'll share it. Oh, I said, come on. They're not serious readers. And many times they come to me and they say, I got a great book, I can lend it to you. And my answer is, either give it to me, gift it to me, sell it to me, don't lend it to me. Because I won't give it back to you. You know why? Because when I read a book, I sit with a pencil and a marker and I underline and I make notation on the sides. And as I said, reading a good book once is not good enough. And maybe a year down the line or 6 months down the line, if I'm reading a book, you think I have time to read the entire book? Answer is no. I just go through those things. So therefore, I strongly recommend. I can afford to lose a lot of things, and I've lost many things, but really I cannot afford to lose my book. We shifted from one location to another, and my house, and eventually I took a rough count, estimated I have close to 250,000 books. I never realized I accumulated that many books in my life. And I just want to make one very important point here. I'm not promoting my book here now at this time. See, the book, You Can Achieve More, I mentioned about a survey it was done, which said about 85% of millionaires and billionaires today are first generation. I repeat, 85% of millionaires and billionaires today are first generation. Only 15% are inheritance. And a question was asked to these people, what is the habit, one habit that you would recommend a person to inculcate to rise up in life? And you know what they said? They said, we read books. And Raji, they said, and they asked, how many books do you read? Guess what the answer was? On an average, a millionaire, first generation millionaire and a billionaire, they read between 50 to 60 books a year, which means one book a week. And then the next question was, what kind of books do you read? They said, we read self-help books. And I would classify your book as a self-help book. It's inspirational. We read self-help books. And the reason they gave, why self-help? And the answer was, all it takes is one idea from here is worth $1 million. That means there is a tremendous connection between learning and earning. Are you with me?
Yes.
You learn and you earn. There is a tremendous connection between learning and earning, and hence, one good news is I just came to know that people have gotten back to buying hardcover books, and the sales of the other ones have gone down, which I personally feel these books are a treasure by itself. And you got one right up here from Dr. Rakesh Chopra, and thanks a lot. Okay.